What's up, guys and girls? Thanks for tuning in once again. So welcome to my next video blog, whatever you want to call it. This is it. So today I want to talk about people who just train their strengths, or they just train what they're good at. They never ever train their weaknesses. Weaknesses are literally weaknesses. They're a weakness in the chain. It could be in a movement. It could be something you do at work, something you do in your social life, whatever. I don't want to get into life lessons. I do want to keep it strictly to gym, but I do want to iron out quite clearly that a weakness is a weakness, and it's a weakness for a bloody reason. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you train your weakness, you'll find that your strengths will be that much stronger. There are some cases where not, but most of the time, that is the rule. So let's just say, I'll keep it to lifting. Let's just say you have a weakness with your lockout on your deadlift. I know this firsthand. I have for a while. You can either choose to keep on deadlifting and just get stronger and mask the problem that's happening. All you're doing is really just pushing it further up, further up, further up. You know, you might be able to lift more than you used to be able to, but when you go for what you know you should be able to lift, you're stalled at the lockout again. That's screwing you over. It's messing up your lift. You can either keep going down that road and just trying to brute force tackle it, or whilst maintaining all of your strength training, you look into the weak link in the chain and really assess why it is that that's happening. You can apply this theory to all of your lifts. Once again, you have to look at possibilities and probabilities, because nothing is certain. Everything you read online, I guarantee you, although it might sound exactly like what you're experiencing, odds are what you've got is ever so slightly different. So it's all trial and error. But you have to make an estimated choice on how you go about tackling this problem. So when I looked up problems with a lockout deadlift, the first thing I saw was rack pull. And I said, yeah, do some rack pulls. That'll help. I thought, okay. So I gave them a try. Guess what? I actually got okay at rack pulls for a while. I went back to do my deadlift, my full deadlift. Didn't bloody move, did it? Nothing changed. Nothing changed. And the reason being was because I was automatically getting my body in a position that was more optimal from that point to lift the weight up. The second you got me lifting it off the ground, position was compromised. It wasn't as good. So you have to look into other means. You have to look at, as you're completing all of these movements, or as you're trying to do whatever it is in your sport and whatnot, whilst isolating that one movement might be a good idea, it doesn't necessarily mean that your brain's going to fire those muscles that are weak any differently to how it was used to. The problem is with repetition in the gym is that if you repeat something that's bad, it becomes very, very second nature and embedded in your body. When your body's under a lot of stress, it will default to what it knows, or default to that. It will try to use it. Sometimes it's not even beneficial. I know people say that your body tries to choose the path of least resistance. Sometimes it doesn't. Basically, sometimes you'll find that your start position has been that flawed from the get-go that your body only has X and Y options that it can go to. Another example of this, I know quite a few guys that can't break at the hip properly when they squat. They can't sit back when they squat. My training partner actually has a bit of this problem himself. He's caught in a dilemma where his knees are shafted. He can only squat so often because of the pain he gets in his knees. But at the same time, his hips are that bloody damn rigid, and he's got that much pain in them as well, coupled with problems with his lower back. He can't sit back in a squat. He literally can't sit back in a squat. He has to knee flex so much to hit depth. It's painful to watch sometimes. You know, and that's just the break parallel. You know, he's not even getting very, very deep. So he's in a catch-22. He's in a big catch-22. But guess what? The weakness is obvious. It's his mobility. This is fucking mobility. If he trained his mobility, properly trained his mobility, granted, he might still have pains here and there, but I guarantee you, he'd be able to squat better. He'd be able to lift better. But he doesn't want to take the time out. It's too stubborn. He'll disagree with me if he's watching this video, but it's the truth. I've seen it in too many sports. People hate the concept of 2 steps back, 3 steps forward. They hate it. People don't want to do it. We're all guilty of it. But guess what? Especially while you're in your 20s or even your 30s, it's worth it. It's so worth it. It's probably even worth it when you're in your 40s, 50s somewhat. Life is a long time. And even if you have to work on your ability for a year and you don't lift a damn weight, when you come back to lifting, you might even be a bit weaker. That might take another year. But 2 years off your your lifetime, and you're lifting so much better, or you're performing your sport better, it's worth it. It's all bloody worth it. And you know that you're not going to be limited by that problem again. You know you're not going to run into that problem again because you've gone and solved it. So guys, my message in this video is, don't be afraid to train your weakness. Assess where your weakness is and find a logical way of tackling it. And don't just tackle it for the sake of tackling it. Think how it's going to improve the sport you're doing. Go about it in a methodical way. And more does not necessarily mean better. Be calculative with your trainer. So I'm about to run out of time again, but I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. And see you next time. Sorry, Simon, if you're watching, by the way.